You're not supposed to commit a sin. Judaism as well. That's the 10 Commandments. Moses brought those down. But on this Good Friday, it's worth thinking about how a stone cutter from a tiny hamlet, Nazareth, could become the most famous person who has ever existed. That's worth a thought. Back in a moment. If you thought booking your timeshare was difficult before, you know it's almost impossible now. For more than a decade, Lone Star Transfer has helped thousands of owners legally and permanently get out of their never-ending timeshare fees. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. For free, no obligation consultation, please call 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom lovers. World's greatest executive producer, Ken Williams. How are you, baby?
Good morning and happy Good Friday, Vic.
Yeah. Good Friday. I don't know why we call it Good Friday.
Don't say what you said.
No, but I can allude. Can I allude to it?
You can allude.
Today's Good Friday, okay? No traffic, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it was nice, actually.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
I shan't. I promise. I shan't curse. But it's Good Friday to commemorate the day they killed Jesus. Well,
Yeah.
why isn't that like Bad Friday? Today should be called Bad Friday.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow, Good Saturday. And then Easter,
Good Easter.
Great Sunday.
Great Sunday.
Right? I don't know. I can't run the world. I'm just too darn busy. All right. Great Friday festivities today. Larry Connors in Mr. Connors' neighborhood coming up at 9:25. Jay Ashcroft, the Missouri Secretary of State. I want to ask him about that fight up at Hazelwood. And should the girl be charged as an adult or not?
Yeah.
I wonder if he has any thoughts on that. I'm sure he does.
I know I do.
I knew that, I think. I think I knew that Ken Williams had some thoughts on that. Susie Moore from Red State at 10:05. And the Wheel of Audio Clips at 10:41. Ken, who leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance today?
Listener Andy.
Oh, I love Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
Good morning. This is Andy Barker from Lake St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi.
And it is my honor to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just thought of something. Would it be great if we could get Morgan Freeman to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, are you kidding me?
I'm sure he's done it somewhere. We could find it, maybe.
Yeah, I'll look.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
That voice.
Yeah, something else. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, and I sorry, I'm so sorry, God. Hold on, I think Speaker Jones is actually answering. It's Good Friday because we who believe know what comes next. Okay, I get that.
Okay.
But it wasn't a particularly good Friday for Jesus.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker.
Appreciate you, Mr. Speaker, as always. I don't want to talk about it all day or every segment for sure, but there was a stark difference in character from the two men who are on the ballot, who will be on the ballot in November for president of the United States.
Yes.
Joe Biden was at Radio City Music Hall with Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and Stephen Colbert. You know? So Lizzie, what's her name?
Lizzo.
Lizzo was there, and Queen Latifah, they both sang. And every douchebag Hollywood elite was there.
Yeah.
Tickets ranged from $225 to like $50,000.
Yeah.
For $100,000, you can get your picture taken with Biden and Obama and Clinton. I think that's something they should pay the people for. Here,
No, not anymore.
take this picture. We'll give you $100,000.
No, they don't work for us anymore. They are themselves celebrities. That's why they align themselves with celebrities, and that's why where was it at Madison? No,
Radio City.
Radio City Music Hall. That's why they align themselves with celebrities, because they in their world, as you put it, in their bubble, are celebrities.
Right, exactly right. And it was a big gala, and it raised $25 million for Joe Biden's crippled campaign. And I'm sure I did not see one clip. I don't really want to see any clips from it, but I'm sure there were clips of people making fun of Trump and calling him terrible and, MAGA extremists and all that stuff. I'm sure the word MAGA extremist had to be used 50 times.
Yeah, and I'm sure that he is terrible for the left. He's horrible for the woke. He's terrible for their ideology completely. Yeah. But one thing I do know about Donald Trump, he doesn't need two other former presidents to make an appearance to drag people out to raise a whole $25 million. Everybody says that's so much money.
Or to fill Radio City Music Hall.
Can I ask you a question? How much money did Trump make this past week?
I think it was $6 billion. He made $6 billion.
I think he made $3 billion,
yeah.
But he's up to $6.7 billion or something like. I don't know. It's still growing.
And by the way, what Ken's talking about is since Truth Social has been made public.
Yeah.
That made him a bunch of money. So the more they try to break him, the more money he makes.
Yeah.
The more they try to ruin his campaign, the more his campaign grows. It's just so ridiculous. And I will say it again. And nobody has given me an answer on how this kind of stuff happens. Joe Biden's approval rating is so bad. I think Jimmy Carter was the only president to have a worse approval rating. And that was back when America was actually like a real country,
Well, Jimmy Carter, God rest his soul, he's probably a happier man where he is now,
yeah.
Because he's not the worst president in the history of,
right.
of America any longer.
Right.
Joe Biden took that mantle, and he's going to own it.
And he's going to run with it, absolutely.
Yeah.
So all these people at Radio City Music Hall. And then Donald Trump yesterday was in Massapequa, New York. That's in Long Island, about 30 miles from Radio City Music Hall, at the wake of a murdered New York City police officer. That tells you all you have to know about the character of these two guys.
Yeah, Jonathan Diller was killed, and it's you can argue all you want about it, but we have been defunding the police for the last 3 years. We have been making the overall police force of this country weaker because of the Biden administration policies and the policies in general on the left. Remember, Vic, 3 years ago, just in Washington, D.C., in front of the state, the capital of the United States, they were putting defund the police on the street.
Sure, yeah.
In New York, they did the same thing.
Yep.
Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. So now we're seeing the fruits of that labor.
And Jonathan Diller leaves behind a wife, a beautiful wife, and a baby boy who will never know his father. The kid's that young that he will grow up and say, no, I don't remember my father at all. I don't remember him holding me. I don't remember him laughing with me. I don't remember any of that.
Yeah.
That's how young he is. And it was raining in Massapequa yesterday, and Donald Trump got out of the car, and he walked into the funeral home. No umbrella, nobody holding an umbrella for him as he walked. And he went inside, and then he came out, and he made a brief statement, which I thought was very somber and very sobering to America on, look, this is what happens. This is the reality of being a police officer, of being the family of a police officer. If you're married to a police officer, in our little example here, the cop is going to be the man and the wife is going to be the spouse. And your police officer husband leaves for work, you kiss him goodbye and you say, I'll see you tonight, but you're never quite sure if you're going to see him tonight. You're never quite sure if he's going to make it home
Yeah.
That's how hard it is to be a cop right now. And by the way, the cop that was with him in the car, the only reason he's alive, because the guy who shot Diller gun jammed. He was going to shoot the other cop too, but his gun jammed.
Wow.
How about that? And this was not a high-speed chase or anything like that. This was a pull over.
It's a regular traffic stop, yeah.
Regular traffic stop. I don't know. I just, the character of these two guys is just amazing to me.
We've got to stop demonizing the police department. It's ugly. It's ugly what they do. What they do to people who do wrong, criminals. What they do, what they have to do to them to keep them, to mobilize them, whatever they have to do. It's ugly. But the left will take that. They'll get a little quick video of a cop slamming a guy to the ground because he's been fighting them for the last 5 minutes, but then he slams them to the ground.
You're right there, buddy.
Yeah. I'm just getting excited. And then what ends up happening, they post that, and then, of course, the police officers demonize.
Yep, and it's been happening for, a while now, and it's something that, Kenny and we grew up in a time when you had a healthy fear of the police. I'm not saying a fear, but you know what I'm saying? A respect for the police. When you got pulled over by a police officer, you were really scared and nervous that you did something wrong, right?
But you still respected.
What did I do wrong? Oh, no, not because of them, because of what you've done. Nobody on the left thinks of, maybe this guy did something he wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan Diller, again, leaves behind a wife, a baby boy, and Donald Trump was there at the wake, and I thought that was just a great show of what he's all about, which is law and order and backing the blue. You agree with that?
Oh, I totally agree with that, and I think Trump did something for the wife.
My wife and I were watching it live yesterday, and Trump went in, and he came out. I wasn't sure if he was going to speak or not, and then I saw the microphone there, and said, okay, well, he's going to speak. And then he came to the microphone quietly, there was no loud talking. He just said, we have to law and order. We talked about his wife and his kid and everything. And then, the press started shouting questions at him. Is that the time and place to be shouting questions at him at a wake for a New York City police officer?
It makes me sick.
It does, Ken. It makes me sick, too. So they started shouting questions at him. He answered one question in the same way that his comments were about law and order. We have to stop this. This is ridiculous. And then he left. And then as soon as he left, the Tunnel to Towers people showed up with the, remember when we would go out for the river and we'd have those tents that you put up in like 10 seconds, the Tunnel to Tower tent showed up, and the guys were putting the tent up. And I said to my wife, I said, look, Tunnel to Towers is there already. They're already going to be talking to this woman and paying her mortgage, And then we find out later, Tunnel to Towers did pay her mortgage with the money from Donald Trump.
Yep.
I didn't see Joe Biden offering any money to pay her mortgage because he hates the police just like the rest of them.
And Joe calls him broke down. I don't think he's so broke. I don't think he is.
So Kenny and I were talking before the show. I think we talked about it right here. That Joe Biden's event made $25 million. Donald Trump made $3 billion himself, putting Truth Social on the public NASDAQ stock exchange. And, yeah, I think we did say this because I'm starting to feel like I'm repeating myself like I do every other day. Do I repeat myself a lot to you?
No.
Don't lie to me.
No, you don't.
Okay.
I tell you when you do. Oh, yeah, you've told me. And then you just move on. I don't do that all day.
Now try to imagine living with me, okay? When I tell my wife something, she says, yeah, you told me that 5 minutes ago.
Well, that's about anybody, though, Vic. I've done that with my wife.
Go ahead.
Everybody's done stuff like that.
My thing is, my wife will say, hey, can you go in the kitchen and get whatever? It doesn't matter. Get there for me? Yeah, sure. I go the 10 feet from the couch to the kitchen, and then it happens every time. What did you want over here? I don't know how many things I could have thought of in those 10 seconds it took. Do I make myself more coffee? There must be some Hostess cupcakes I can find in the pantry and eat, And then I don't remember. What did you want?
And I think this goes along with your obsessive personality.
What is that supposed to mean?
You're slightly obsessive a little bit.
Huh.
But what you'll do is you'll react with, I forgot something. Oh, my God, I've got dementia. I've walked in the kitchen, walking from my office to the kitchen and thinking, all right, I need to go in there to get something. And I go in the kitchen, I'm like, what the hell am I doing here?
Ken.
So, I mean, that just happens.
Okay,
I think.
all right.
Don't obsess.
No, I'm not obsessing, but I do worry about dementia. We all
sure.
Get to my age, you worry about that, and then worse, possibly, Alzheimer's. But it's not just that me having it; it's the people I live with who have to deal with it. I mean, imagine living with me when everything is fine, when my brain is working good. I'm tough to live with. I couldn't imagine living with me under the conditions of that I may have dementia. Who is this, Ken Williams?
Andre,
my man, thank you for serving. How are you?
Not too bad. I just wanted to tell you why it's called Good Friday, if I could.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Good Friday, obviously, is the day I wore down the cross. We call it Good Friday because without Good Friday, you wouldn't have the resurrection and redemption. So we call it good because the act that Christ did on that day was the ultimate good.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm just thinking of it from an emotional guy, Jesus, they killed him. Oh, that's good. Let's call it Good Friday. But I'm not too smart, Andre. Hey, man, thank you so much. Have a great Easter, great weekend. Again, thank you for serving, okay?
My pleasure. The same to you.
All right.
Happy Easter, Andre.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. I think some people are mad at me this morning.
No, they're not. They just want to clarify.
Okay.
I think we all understand what your point is.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a good day for Jesus Christ.
And right, and I'm saying it out of respect for Jesus.
Yeah. No, I get it.
All right. When we come back, Larry Connors, the legend, the living legend. We'll talk to him in Mr. Connors' neighborhood, and we're going to let Larry hear and get his visceral reaction to Donald Trump's comments yesterday at the wake of Jonathan Diller, the New York City police officer. On 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
The name's Francis Sawyer, but everybody calls me Psycho. Any of you guys call me Francis, and I'll kill you. And I don't like nobody touching my stuff, so just keep your meat hooks off. If I catch any of you guys in my stuff, I'll kill you.
Made in St. Louis, for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Lighten up, Francis. Okay, Chris Cooper at Serenity Wealth Management is a guy who is so great at what he does. And then you throw in that he's a great guy and that he loves to have fun. He loves comedy. He loves to just be a good person, okay? And he's got some of the answers for you if you or someone you love is going into long-term care, because long-term care can break the bank. It doesn't have to break the bank, and Chris Cooper will help you have it not break the bank with tax-efficient solutions to long-term care. Hold on. So learn a little bit about what Chris Cooper does. He's got a book. Most people write books to make money. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to make a bunch of money. And Chris Cooper says, I'm going to write a book, and I'm not going to make any money on it. But if you get the book, it's a good introduction to what he does. And then you get the ball rolling with him to get those tax-efficient solutions for long-term care. Okay, it's not easy, but Chris will help you out on it. Don't wait. Go to SerenityLTC.com to get the book. SerenityLTC.com. Serenity now! It's Chris Cooper.
Investment advisory services offered through Alphi LLC, SEC registered investment advisor. Insurance and education services offered through Serenity Wealth Management.
Serenity now!
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Live and local.
Listen to what those local folks are telling you.
News Talk STL.
As spring is about to be sprung, are you in the market for new windows? Look no further than Window World. Window World, simply the best for less. Tim Jones here for Window World. Give him a call today, 314-993-1800. One of only 2 window companies in the country that carry the coveted Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Window World windows are not only durable, they offer security, beauty, and energy efficiency. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. Give him a call, 314-993-1800. Check them out at windowworld.com. That's windowworld.com.
Hi, Sean Long from STL Fenceworks. A new fence or deck is an investment in your home and your lifestyle. But how do you ensure that you're getting the most out of that investment? At STL Fenceworks, we know the key is satisfaction. Satisfaction means getting a fence or deck that not only meets your needs, but exceeds your expectations. Satisfaction means working with a team that cares about your project as much as you do. Satisfaction means having confidence in the quality of your new fence or deck, knowing that it was built with the best of materials and workmanship. STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion. And for me, satisfaction is knowing that providing for your family is how I provide for mine. Visit STLFenceworks.com and experience the satisfaction in making your backyard dreams into a reality.
My name is Todd Showalter, and I'm announcing the Right Mind Show is officially running Saturday nights at 5. I'll now open the floor for questions.
Is the Right Mind Show funny at all?
No comment. Next question. Yeah, you, different reporter with the same voice.
Your co-host is very cute.
Not a question. I've got time for one more.
Do you do any impressions on the Right Mind Show?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Joe Biden getting out of bed.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. Saturday afternoons at 5 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion.
I believe Prime Minister Netanyahu has lost his way.
I think Schumer's statements are wholly inappropriate.
1019 and 94.1.
The Biden administration is not a friend of Israel.
News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
When I introduce you, I'm going to say, this is a friend of mine. That means you're a connected guy. Now, if I said instead, this is a friend of ours, that would mean you were a made guy. A capiche?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
I was in Dearborn's last night, and I'm checking out, and I wanted some of the stuff in plastic bags. And then, I like the bread and, squishy, delicate things in a paper bag, Not that the paper bag is going to protect it, but I know in my head there's delicate things in there, right? So I said, put this stuff in plastic and this stuff in paper. And he didn't really say anything. I said, Gabish? He had no idea what I was talking about. No idea.
You're not one of the guys.
Not one of ours. Not a friend of ours. Hey, did you know, Ken, do you know that Larry, listen to this. 99% of new vehicles are equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
Yeah. Right.
That makes it easier to listen to News Talk STL while you're in your car.
Right.
Anywhere.
Right.
Not necessarily in St. Louis.
It's outstanding.
Yep.
So when somebody says, I don't have a radio, really. Yeah, you do. It's right there in your hand.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you have Bluetooth, which most do, you just play through it. You use your hands free on the phone all the time. Now you just connect your phone to it. And the station, I promote that all the time, and a lot of people are getting it. We have a great signals, 2 great FM signals.
Yeah.
But there are days it's static and then in and out, but it's less than A&M static. But there's times you can get in kind of a dead zone. That just happens.
Happens everywhere.
But not with this app.
Yep.
You don't.
Crazy thing, too, about listening to the station on the app, it comes through the app before it comes through the radio. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah.
When I switch from the app to the radio, I hear it twice. And I'm like, wait, how's it happening? How's the app happen? That's because of the natural digital delay.
So you get news first.
Right.
Yeah.
And then again.
Yeah.
And so you should be getting double pay.
I should. Wow, you know what? You're right.
I'll negotiate that.
I'm glad you walked in right now.
So the bottom line is type in News Talk STL and find us.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, let's get going. Mr. Connor's neighborhood walked in with his dry cleaning today. You going to a black tie affair?
Yep. Yep.
St. Louis, it's Mr. Connor's neighborhood.
Yeah, Larry Connors.
Yeah, I was told today we're all getting a headshot. And I said, I think it's been pretty apparent I've been shot in the head already. I mean, why do I want another headshot?
Today's headshot day?
No, yeah.
That's April 5th.
There's going to be walk up behind you, you're going to feel a little nudge, and boop, that's it. You didn't know, huh?
Wait a minute.
It's April 5th.
Yeah, it's not today. Today's not headshot.
Why did I bring in my tux and everything?
Because I assumed you were going to hang out with Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and Joe Biden at Radio City Music.
Well, they've got to pay me $100,000 for each picture.
I think they should. I think the three of them should pay $100,000 for a picture with Larry Connors.
Yeah, they should, yeah.
Anyone else? Absolutely free.
All right. So that's exactly what I want to talk to you about, Larry, because
I'm not lowering the price.
It's character. We can negotiate as we go. Character, right? You want a president that has character.
Correct.
Joe
and
Biden
and class.
Right. And Joe Biden hung out with the classless Hollywood elite and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton at Radio City Music Hall and Stephen Colbert. Boy, it tells you everything you need to know about him.
That piece of excrement.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
No,
Are you kidding me or what?
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
Are you listening?
I won't.
Are you listening to the bandit?
Yeah, I won't.
So they did that to raise $25 million. Meanwhile, Massapequa,
They're going
New
to need
York,
all of it.
Yeah. In Massapequa, New York, and Long Island, about 30 miles away, Donald Trump was at a funeral for Jonathan Diller, a New York City police officer who was murdered. I thought Donald Trump was so great going, not using an umbrella to go in, by the way, and it was raining. I don't know why I like that. But
Men don't use umbrellas.
Right.
Nor straws.
Right. I agree with that. I hate straws.
I do too.
Oh, my God, I despise straws. So anyway, what I wanted to do, Larry, and I couldn't wait to do this with you, is to play some of Trump's comments yesterday after he came out of the funeral home and get your comments on it.
Great,
Is that
because
okay?
I hadn't had time to pull them up. And Ken, will you please send these to me so I can use them again on this in tonight's program? Thank you.
That'll cost them $100,000.
That'll be $100,000
at least,
and a picture.
and a picture.
Do you want to double? You want to double your salary or not?
Yes.
Okay, then I think you back off.
Okay. All right, let's hear President Trump. The first thing he said when he got out of the funeral home.
They lost a hero, really. I mean, just a hero. They're devastated. The family is devastated. The police force is devastated. The whole country feels this way. And it's happening more and more, and it's really a lack of respect for law and order, and we have to have law and order back in our country.
Mm-hmm.
Who would argue with that, Larry? Law and order.
Unfortunately, we have some that do, or they interpret law and order as what they decide law and order is, and they will put you under their boot.
How can they define it as law and order when it's
because they have
lawless
control
and
of
orderless?
you? If they have control of you, then we have law and order.
True.
This whole squatter thing, too,
Oh,
is like, if I owned a house and I came home and I found somebody in it, I would shoot them. What are you doing in my house?
well, you know, this $5 million home there in this very luxurious, JJ lives there, and I don't know who else, all in this enclave. These guys found out that it was vacant. They showed up with the U-Haul, started moving in. Back in October, they're still there. Neighbors begin to realize something's not right. They're having all-night raves and orgies, and, so they want them out. This, the state of Missouri is apparently going to start working on the same thing they did with DeSantis. We'll make it a criminal act. You don't have to go through civil court. Civil court is where it all stalls out.
All right. I don't know.
And go for trespassing. Same thing about the illegals coming across. You don't want to force federal immigration? Well, then we'll just get them on trespassing, period.
And there's a guy who started this organization. He's like superhero named Squatter Man or something like that.
Right.
Where he
On
knows
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, but he knows the rules and he knows the laws and he knows how to use those laws to get the squatters out of the house.
And that is civil. You're getting them out. You're
talking about two different things.
Yeah, there's one guy that's thinking about.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the guy who's getting the squatters out of the house.
Well, I know how to get them out.
Yeah, I know. Legally, without
I
getting
call
in
Nick
trouble.
Schroer and get his flamethrower. That's one's way. Hell, we'll just burn that place down. You want to stay in?
But
what?
Listen,
you're actually speechless.
I can't tell you how long ago it was. I mean, obviously it can't be more than 3 years because Kenny and I have been doing the show about 3 years. And I said, with what's going on, you're going to see widespread vigilantism.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning vigilantism. I'm just saying you're going to see widespread vigilantism.
No, you won't see it.
But then let me say that if you're in New York City and you're hanging out in a park and you see those red berets of the guardian angels come walking down the street, you know you're safe, Larry.
Yeah.
And you know that nobody's going to mess with you. So
I have several red berets.
How bad? I don't think you were one of them. But how bad is vigilantism when it comes to stuff like that, just protecting other people?
That's the whole thing. I mean, we've gotten so afraid, and I mean, if cops can be pulled up on charges that are false, malicious, just because they're wearing a uniform, the average citizen is going to be immediately hit, and it's going to cost you a lawyer and a legal fee before you get out of it and get free.
Yep.
There was a state politician in Maryland just last night or night before last that's saying, why aren't men sticking up for these women that are in New York getting their faces punched?
Right.
Well, you know why? Because they're afraid that if they do, they're going to get their asses thrown in jail.
Yeah.
That's why.
2 words.
I'll take my chance.
Daniel Penny.
Oh, I will.
Yeah,
too.
I know. Yeah, Daniel Penny is another example. Yeah, and I know
but Larry,
you
know,
would,
in the Midwest, we would do that anyway. And I've told you this, Vic. I mean, I feel bad for those people out there in New York, but these guys need to get up off their asses on those seats that are sitting next to the people happening and do something about what's going on.
Not only that, but if a lady's standing in there on the subway and hanging to a strap, you get up and give her a seat. Period.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it's just that's the right thing to do. And if the guy is a really big dude and there's several of them, well, then we're going to have to escalate. But we're going to put an end to it.
You know what you do? You just reach out and kick old green teeth right in the knee. That's what you do. So I want to get to this clip too, Larry, because this is President Trump talking about the great people that are law enforcement.
They're not given the respect. The police are the greatest people we have. There's nothing and there's nobody like them, and this should never happen. I just visited with a very beautiful wife that now doesn't have her husband. Stephanie was just incredible. Their child, brand new, beautiful baby, sitting there innocent as can be, and doesn't know how his life has been changed. But the Diller family you'll never be the same. You can never be the same. And we have to stop it. We have to stop it. We have to get back to law and order. We have to do a lot of things differently because this is not working. This is happening too often.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was great yesterday.
That was beautiful, stead and
somber,
and at the same time very true.
You know, I dare anybody to say what he said yesterday was brash or you're right. The things they say about him. There was none of that there, so I don't want to hear that anymore.
I call him out. I call balls and strikes, and so if he's out of line on something, I call him out. But on this, I'm like you. I will applaud him.
Yeah. All right, we're really over time, but I will give you 30 seconds. I know you're not happy about the Bibles.
You're right. I did have a commentary on that yesterday of him selling, or I would say hawking Bibles. It's like a tent revivalist outside, say, come in and see the bearded lady for 25 cents. He doesn't need to do this, and I don't know why he's doing it. If he wants to do it, then say all the money is going to go to a certain cause, and you can get this. It has a constitution and everything else included. But, of course, I'm also upset with the left who are mocking him for it. Now, I'm criticizing him, but I'm not mocking. I just think that, there's no reason for it to do it. And I don't have a Bible that has a constitution and very basic founding documents in it, so I think that's probably a good idea to combine them. We were a Judeo-Christian-based faith when we started.
Yeah.
We still are, but we also accept other faiths and we work with them.
So you mentioned the bearded lady that was like the freak shows at the circus and everything.
Yeah.
I can't wait for my chance at the freak show when they come on in and see the totally not tattooed man.
Yeah.
Not a bit of ink on his entire body. Larry Connors, USA, 6 to 8 o'clock.
Hey.
Great commentary at 12:03, 7:30 in the morning, 12:03, and 3:30 in the afternoon.
May I wish you and everyone listening a most blessed Easter.
You too, Larry. We love
you too, Larry. Thank you very much.
Kenny and I are still kind of mesmerized that we get to work with Larry Connors. I don't know if you know that. All right. Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft, he's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Now more than ever, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and NewstalkSTL.com.
You know, Ken, how do you know when a Democrat is lying?
Their lips are moving.
Their lips are moving. Exactly right. If that's not good enough, just listen for the cadence. My son did not make money.
Right.
I never had sexual relations with that woman.
Right.
RICO is a category.
Mm-hmm.
That was AOC.
There is not one scintilla of evidence.
There you go. There you go. But, I mean, it's a lot easier. Just if you see their lips moving, they're lying.
Yeah.
Okay. The Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. You know what? If you've waited to sell your house, I think now you're going to be rewarded for that, because I saw some stories where home sale prices are just going to go really, really high, and you're going to be able to get what you put into your house and more if you call the Wallner home selling team. They've got a ton of approved home buyers ready to go right now to buy your home. So if you want to have a team that you know is on your side, that you know are good conservative people, a great family, the Wallners are it, you know. Also, they sell 15 times more homes per year than your typical realtor. And if you decide, no, I think I want to stay in my house, I don't want to sell it, they understand. They understand. That's what it's all about. They understand. They're understanding people. So get the ball ball rolling, get the process moving. Whether you're in Missouri or Illinois, call the Wallner home selling team at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD.
Columbo and Katie.
Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis signed one of the country's most restrictive social media bans for minors. We'll talk about this with Dave Pfeiffer and Ken Williams and get the weekend weather forecast on Friday.
Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Kickstart your spring with Spring into Green savings on a John Deere compact tractor at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. For a limited time, we have 0% financing for 84 months with 0 down on select models. Plus, when you purchase an in-stock model year 23 compact tractor, you'll save up to an additional $2,500. Take home the tractor of your dreams today. Visit snpartners.com for more information.
Offer valid through 4/26/2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
There's a battle right now in our schools, and I'm ready to fight for our children's education. I'm Adriana Kuhn, and I'm running for the Francis Howell School Board. Our schools are being injected with gender ideology, critical race theory, and advanced classes have been removed for the sake of equity. My opponents are endorsed by organizations that push these agendas on our youth. I vow to keep radical ideologies out of our schools. Vote for Adriana Kuhn April 2nd so I can make a difference in your child's life. Paid for by Friends of Adriana Kuhn, Kevin Pelkey, Treasurer.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
All your hard-earned tax dollars and mine are going to fund illegal aliens who come across the border penniless, jobless, skillless, and they're given a cell phone, an identity, and a cash stipend every month.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
That beats your Social Security income if you should have the good nature to work your ass off your whole life and retire.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL. Brought to you in part by Modern Weapon Systems in Fenton. This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Everybody in Washington's been saying it. If you're a Cardinal fan, let's go, Brendan.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
You know what? I almost forgot about Let's Go Brandon. I almost forgot about that whole thing.
Yeah.
That stupid NBC sports lady.
Yeah.
Listen, they're saying Let's Go Brandon.
Yeah, we're trying to disguise it.
And they're clearly not saying Let's Go Brandon. And I pictured the couple at home watching NASCAR going, Marge, she thinks they're saying, let's go, Brandon. Not true. All right. Let's talk to our Secretary of State, Jay Ashcroft. Good morning, Mr. Secretary. Happy birthday.
Good morning and happy Easter.
Happy birthday. You're somewhere where you got to be quiet, right? Where are you?
No, I'm not. I love being on. It's just, this is such a special weekend for me. when we celebrate God sending his son to die for us and his resurrection on Easter Day. And it's just a wonderful weekend for me.
All right. Well, we want to make sure you enjoy it. We don't want to ruin it for you by having to talk to us. All right. Listen, before we get into some of the stuff I have to talk to you about, can you give me a little bit on the difference in character of Joe Biden and Donald Trump yesterday when Trump went to a wake of a killed New York City police officer and Joe Biden celebrated himself?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a much better differentiator between the two individuals. One is raising money to try to fool people into thinking he's someone he isn't. And the other one is foregoing raising money for his political pursuits to go and try to give condolences and support to individuals that run to trouble to protect us, and one specifically that died mainly because he wasn't supported by his government. And, I mean, you look at the individual that shot him, that individual never should have gotten out of prison.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that Democrats generally don't like 3 strikes laws, but couldn't we just, maybe settle on 5 or 10 or 15? Even a 20-strike law would have saved that officer's life.
Yeah. And Jonathan Diller's partner would be dead, too, if the guy's gun didn't jam. So,
Yeah.
You hate to hear that any cop dies, but at least this other cop made it because the guy's gun jammed.
The idiocy of not supporting law enforcement, which is why we need the state to take over the St. Louis Police Department, and kowtowing to criminals. Look at what just happened in Illinois, where your parole board, whatever they call it over in Illinois, released someone who never should have been released. The day he gets out, he goes and kills an 11-year-old as he's attacking a woman. And that 11-year-old jumped in front of his mom, tried to defend her, was stabbed to death. The mom was injured, but at least she survived. All because politicians or unaccountable bureaucrats put criminals above law-abiding citizens.
Doesn't make sense. I don't even know if this will make a change, but when somebody like Chuck Schumer or AOC or somebody on the left, when their relative or friend or themselves is attacked or killed by one of these guys, then they may change their mind and say, hey, you know what, maybe we better support the police like we should have all along. I don't know.
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
Because they only care about themselves. They don't care about others.
Yeah.
They are there for the position. They're not there for public service. They can hire security guards for themselves. They will make sure that the individual that attacks them is punished, but they don't care a bit about protecting the rest of the people of this country.
Yep. All right, let's get on to some local stuff here. Last Tuesday at 5 o'clock was the close of candidate filing. Now, you have to explain this procedurally to me, Mr. Secretary. Select races will statutorily reopen again next week for 4 days. Why is that? What? Explain that to me.
The scheduled end time for filing was 5 o'clock on Friday. However, because historically there have been times when people have tried to play games and game the system by jumping out of a race at the last minute, there's a special law that says if anyone jumps out of that race that has filed within the last 2 days of filing, then we open it back up. We don't want gamesmanship about who's running and who's running for what. We want the people to know. We want everyone to have the opportunity, and we want the people to be in charge.
I got to tell you, everybody's going up for your seat, Secretary of State. There's so many people in that race. It's like when a big storm system starts to form, you're like, this system is so big, it's running for Secretary of State of Missouri.
It is. I'm gratified that so many people have looked at what we've done in the Secretary of State's office the last 8 years and are saying, or last 7, and saying, look, we want to be there. That's where things are happening. That's where change is being done. That's the executive office that was fighting to protect our land from foreign governments and foreign corporations. That's the office that was trying to protect our children from pornographic and obscene materials in libraries. That's the office that was protecting us from predatory investment and securities. That's the office that protects our elections. I'm so glad that people are looking at what we've done the last 7 years and saying we want to do the same.
Yeah, we want to be like that. And elections, ever since we started talking to you, I didn't worry about Missouri elections. We're good, we're safe, we're secure. But it's the other states that need to learn to run elections like we do. And that's when I suggested maybe you should have a little, a little class, get all the secretaries of state in a room and say, this is how you do it. This is how you run an election. Pay attention. All right. Missouri legislature, half done. We'll see if anything gets done.
Yeah, there's 7 weeks left, so I think 12 weeks down. The House has almost completed the budget. The Senate's going to look at that. The House did a great job of actually not continuing the expansion of spending, but actually cut real cuts in spending. I can't believe it, but I appreciate that. Unfortunately, the House has always been better, and then the Senate has tried to expand it. Hopefully we can hold the line on that so we quit making drunken sailors look good in comparison. We also have the FRA. Would love to see some changes in our elections. Would love to see a proof of citizenship requirement for people to vote or register to vote. Would love to see them increase our auditing of elections. Would love to see. You know what would be really nice?
Tell me.
How about a tax cut?
Yes.
That's the largest tax increase in the history of the state. What was it, 4 years ago? How about a tax cut? Wouldn't that be nice for the people of the state?
You reminded me of a tweet I saw some lib put up, why don't you stop cutting taxes, to actually directly at Tony Lavasco. Stop cutting taxes. And Tony answered in one word, no.
Hey, Tony, Representative Lavasco understands that the purpose of government is to serve the people. It's not to do what the people can do for themselves. He understands that people are better at spending their own money. I appreciate his outlook on taxes, and I know next year when we start to put Missouri on the path to getting rid of its income tax, he'll be right there with me.
Yep, I agree. I like him. Good Italian boy, too, by the way. So last week we talked very briefly about how every state is now a border state, but can we expand on that a little bit? Because Missouri, we're nowhere near any border, but yet we seem to be a border state.
Well, we're near the border of Illinois.
Yeah, right, you're right.
Border state. But no, the effects of the illegal aliens coming across the geographic border states are affecting Missouri. The number one cause of death, I believe, for individuals between 18 and 44, 45 in Missouri, it's the drugs that are coming across the border. We are spending tens of millions, if not hundreds. We've spent hundreds of millions of dollars because of illegal aliens. We've actually been subsidizing them. It's ridiculous. We are all suffering the effects of that. We need a governor that will declare an invasion, that will continue to keep people down at the border, that will help Governor Abbott, that will quit subsidizing illegal aliens in this state. And frankly, our federal government needs to tell Mexico that if they don't close the border and do their job, we will cut off remittances to Mexico so that these people that are here illegally can't be sending millions and billions of dollars to Mexico.
I think Donald Trump will do that.
Oh, Donald Trump will do it, and he will build a huge wall,
beautiful wall.
And he'll find a way to make Mexico pay for it.
Biggest beautiful wall you ever seen. Everybody says it. Okay.
Might have a golf course next to it.
Yes, why not? All right, listen, what in the world, who can have a problem with a program about apprenticeship?
You know, it's a good thing to do, to allow people to learn as they earn, people to learn skills and to do it at their own pace and be set up for jobs when they get done with the program. The problem is the federal government wants to come in and screw the program up. It's always been a program that's been done jointly between the federal government and the state government, but the state government has really been allowed to run it. That's why it's worked so well. That's why Missouri, in just about all the good things you want to measure for apprenticeship programs, we're in the top 5, sometimes top 3 or higher. But now the federal government wants to start putting in DEI and other just ludicrous, untrue things that will get in the way of creating opportunities for people to maximize their God-given potential. I'm against that, and I will always fight the federal government getting in people's way.
You know, I have said, even said to my children, I said, college is not the number one priority in my head to you. Well, if you just find a good legal way to make money, then do it, right? And you have the great meme is, here's Biff. Biff went to college, and he has $100,000 in student loan debt. Here's Charlie. Charlie learned how to be a union electrician, and he's going out with Biff's old girlfriend. You know, I mean, however you learn, apprenticeships is a great way to start. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
If we have primary and secondary or grade schools or middle schools or high schools that teach people not what to think, not indoctrinate them, but teach them how to read and figure things out themselves, then they can make decisions the rest of their life to learn what they need to, when they need to. If they want to go to college, they can. If they want to learn a trade, they can. If they want to switch what they're doing years from now, they can. That's what it should be about, training individuals to be able to make their own decisions, to be able to be logical and constructive and deconstructive, independent from government.
Yep. The Baltimore bridge collapse, who pays to fix this? And you know what? How does that affect things, the supply chain with things coming to Missouri? Ken, we talked to somebody at the Jefferson County Port Authority. Do you remember this guy's idea?
Yeah.
Was to make the container ships go up the Mississippi River so we get first dibs?
That's the first thing I thought of. As soon as I saw that bridge collapse, I thought, they need to bring it up the Mississippi.
They do. So what do you think about that idea, first of all, about bringing this stuff up the Mississippi and then spread it out to the rest of the United States so we get a shot at it first?
That's being worked on. Now, we can't bring that container ship up the Mississippi. It's too large. But there are actually ships, boats, kind of a combination ship and barge that are actually being built right now that are designed to be able to bring large quantities of containers at a time up the Mississippi River to a port on the Mississippi. Is that in Missouri? Is it Illinois? Is it in Tennessee? Is it in Arkansas? I've been working to make sure that will be in Missouri. And then the second stage for that is to have smaller vessels, stage 2, that can actually take containers from that port, hopefully in Jefferson County area, someplace on the Missouri side of the Mississippi River, to then be able to take them up the Missouri River all the way to Kansas.
Wow.
That's one of the things that Missouri needs to do to be the logistical hub of the United States.
I love that. What power we would have. All right, Jay Ashcroft for governor. Jay Ashcroft for governor. Who is that? How's the campaign going?
It's going great. The people are looking for someone that is truly conservative, that doesn't just say it, but get things done. Happy to show them my record versus my opponents as I travel the state, just getting a great reception. And I am just so happy for what we can do in this state as we get rid of our income tax, as we support law enforcement, as we put parents in charge of education. It's going to be fabulous.
What's the website?
AshcroftforMissouri.com.
That makes sense. Mr. Secretary, happy Easter to you and your family, okay?
Happy Easter.
All right.
He is alive. He is risen. Bye.
And happy birthday.
Happy Easter and happy birthday.
You didn't want to hear that today.
No.
It's okay.
That's all right.
That's Jay Ashcroft, our Secretary of State. Everybody wants that job now. Everybody wants to run for that office. All right, we'll be back after the news.
The U.S. Submarine Force is known as a silent service. As a 20-year naval submarine officer, I can no longer stay silent about what is going on in our schools. Hello, I'm Sam Young, and I'm running for the Francis House School Board. The local NEA supports candidates who push sexual indoctrination and political activism in our schools. Let's go ahead and torpedo that. Instead, we need to focus on academic excellence, promote traditional values of hard work and meritocracy, and remove radical activism. Vote for veteran Sam Young on April 2nd. Paid for by Citizens for Sam Young. Join Lockard Treasurer.
Hello, fans of the paranormal. I'm Frankie, host of the newest show on NewstalkSTL on a Garage, and we'll be discussing everything paranormal, from ghosts, demons, hauntings, and aliens to Skinwalker, Bigfoot, fairies, and the Chupacabra. Every Saturday night between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., me and Jeremy will discuss mysterious events in St. Louis and surrounding areas, including gateway families and unsolved true crimes. That's right, it's all right here exclusively on NewstalkSTL from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Saturday night.
If you just recently inherited a property and you're not sure what to do with it, maybe it needs a lot of work, but you know you need to get it sold, reach out today. 314-417-1000. 417-1000. My name's Chad Clayman with Clayman Real Estate, where we've been buying houses directly from the seller with no middleman involved for over 90 years. We're a family business, and we help simplify the sale for folks that don't want to list the house on the market and have to deal with the entire sales process. And we specialize with people that just recently inherited a house. We're very familiar with the probate process, so if that is you, please reach out and we can simplify your sale today. 314-417-1000. 314-417-1000. And we've been doing it for over 90 years. So if you have a house that you'd like to sell, whether you inherited it or it needs work, please reach out as we can make you a simple, fair cash offer. 314-417-1000. 314-417-1000.
Hey, it's Tony Colombo for the cleaning pros at Zero Res. It's time for spring cleaning, and there's no one that can help you with that more than the team at Zero Res, especially with this great offer. Book a cleaning in March, mention the Colombo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119. Plus, you can take $50 off your air duct cleaning and 20% off your upholstery, which is a service we've used many times. Just mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomas. It is the largest crane on the eastern seaboard, and it's Baltimore bound. It will help to move the wreckage of the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge.
The huge crane, which can lift up to 1,000 tons, will be one of at least 2 used to clear the channel of the twisted metal and concrete remains of the bridge. Officials want to reopen the Port of Baltimore as soon as possible. Maryland Governor Wes Moore said this is about the nation's economy. He said the port handles more cars and more farm equipment than any other port in America.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston says the Biden administration has approved $60 million in immediate federal aid. A drop in illegal border crossings does not necessarily mean a drop in illegal aliens coming into the U.S.
Every Senate Democrat voted against an amendment that would prevent taxpayer dollars from being used to pay for illegal immigrant flights into the U.S. According to a union president, many more taxpayer dollars will be used. National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd says the Biden administration is artificially reducing the number of illegal immigrant encounters at the southern border. Speaking to the New York Post, he said the administration is copying a move that was common during the Obama presidency, flying illegals into the United States so that the border does not look as out of control. The union president called the plan just a bait and switch. Tasha Stevens reporting.
While former President Trump paid his respects at yesterday's wake of a fallen NYPD officer in New York, for President Biden, it was all about the money. Mr. Biden raked in a record $26 million at a Radio City fundraiser in New York. Former Presidents Clinton and Obama on hand for the event. Also on hand, hundreds of anti-Israel demonstrators showing up to protest outside and inside the fundraising venue. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898, and you're going to be blessed by taking action right.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Nice warm day on tap. Dry roads this morning. Temperatures in the upper 40s by this afternoon. We're partly cloudy and breezy, but a high in the mid-70s today and again tomorrow. We'll probably see a few showers, maybe even a thunderstorm overnight tonight into early tomorrow. But again, mid-70s on Saturday and in and out of the clouds a little bit. Little higher rain chance on Easter Sunday, especially from St. Louis northward, and we could see some stronger storms on Sunday evening, so stay tuned for any kind of severe threat that may occur on Sunday, Easter Sunday, the high near 80. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Earhart.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian, you understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, you know, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Ordering me around. That's all he does, is order me around, Ken Williams. He is the world's greatest executive producer, and I'm glad I got him. All right, good morning. Welcome back. Welcome home. 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk. This hour starts off with Smoozy Q. Her real name is Susie Moore. Sometimes I forget what her real name is because we call her Smoozy Q because that's her handle on Twitter. She also happens to have a very important job of being the deputy managing editor at redstate.com, and we'll talk to her in just a second. 10:25, Tony Bobolinsky is now suing Fox News commentator Jessica Tarloff. You know Jessica Tarloff.
Yes.
She talks like this all the time. Her vocal fry is 24/7. Honey, what do you want for dinner? Oh, my God. And you know what? We'll talk to Susie more about this, too, because there's something else I want to say about that. And then the wheel audio clips right now. Let's get to Susie.
Susie Q, baby, I love you. Susie Q.
I'm the boss. How about that?
I should have listened to Susie Moore from the beginning. Smoozy Q, Susie Moore, deputy managing editor at redstate.com. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning and good Friday.
Good Friday to you. I don't want to get into that. I've been yelled at all morning here, so I don't want to talk about that anymore.
All right.
I mean, I'm happy Good Friday. Yes, never mind. Okay, so, you know what? Let's do this with Susan. We'll talk about something else at 10:25. Tony Bobolinsky, he wants to sue Jessica Tarloff for her saying that Trump paid, or his super PAC paid for him to be at something. I don't know. But Jessica Tarloff, all the time, Susie, I say, Red State is great. Fox News Digital completely sucks. I was looking at the headlines, and one of the headlines says, Biden, a surprising rise in the polls for Biden after his State of the Union speech. I'm like, what the hell? Who wrote this? Jessica Tarloff. Why are they having op-eds written by Jessica Tarloff on Fox News Digital?
Because she's one of their contributors.
I don't care. I mean, you know, at least edit her headline or something. Jessica Tarloff says, or liberal says, not when you read it, you think somebody on our side wrote it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I guess I don't agree with it. I guess I know what you're trying to say, but I don't agree with it. I mean, she's a contributor at Fox News. She is a known liberal. Her byline is there. She's, you know, I'm sure her editors have some say in how things are go, but I think one of the selling points of Fox still is that they do have competing voices on, and they do have voices that go against the grain of their main audience. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Right.
I just want to say one thing. Her byline is not in the headline. You have to click it to see the article, to see the byline.
That's okay.
And that's fine. Yeah,
you should always click beyond the headlines.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is I don't like the clickbait stuff. You know what I mean? And
right.
I think this was kind of like that because it was like, hey, it's Jessica Tarloff. I get it. But Tony Bobolinsky's lawsuit against her, I think, is great because we've been saying, hold these people accountable for things that they say, and this may be the way to do it.
Yeah. She kind of stepped in it because when he testified before Congress, it may have been Dan Goldman, one of the congressmen one of the Democrats was trying to insinuate that his appearance and his legal fees related to it were being compensated by or paid for by this Trump PAC. And Bobolinsky has been very clear about that. They have not. And she misspoke, which she has been known to do on the air on the 5 that afternoon. I've caught her in one or two. And so they basically, his attorneys demanded a retraction. She issued a quote unquote clarification the following day, but she kind of didn't let it go. She was basically like, yeah, technically this is the case, but it's close enough that I really wasn't wrong, was kind of the underlying implicit message there. So he's pushing back pretty hard. Now, I will tell you that push comes to shove on this one when if it actually goes all the way through the legal process, it is close enough that I could see a situation where a jury cuts Tarloff a little bit of a break there, but it's a close call. Well, and the bottom line is good for him for holding her feet to the fire.
But I think maybe it'll be a touch of a precedent to keep people like Rachel Maddow saying, if you get the vaccine, the virus stops with you. I mean, those were not true statements.
Correct.
That's just bad journalism.
Yeah,
it is, but there's also, here's the thing, that wasn't defaming somebody. That's in other words, that wasn't directed at an individual person. But I agree with you with your premise that it's good to hold these journalists to account. And if they are going to speak the truth, particularly if they're going to defame somebody with them, they should be held to account.
And Susie, the thing about Bobulinski with Jessica Tarloff, he even said, if you rescind this or apologize or just make an untrue statement and admit to it, then I'll just move on. But they refused.
Yeah, they gave her the chance.
Yeah, they actually just kind of refused to do it. And he said, okay, well, then we're going to court.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they said retract or else. She clarified instead of retracting, and then they said, okay, we're doing the or else.
Okay. We didn't get a chance to talk about this either because I forgot. I wasn't here Friday.
Right.
Last Friday. That's right. The adults were in the room doing the show without the little baby.
You were missed.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you.
You were
You're the first
missed,
person
Vic.
that said that.
I said it.
You didn't say anything.
I did too.
All right, listen. But you and I haven't talked about Bobulinski's testimony at that hearing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I want to say about it. The other guy that was next to him, I felt like was just a shill, right? He mentioned Sean Hannity 100 times, right? And Bobulinski, when I listened to him talk, he knew too much. There were too many facts. There were too many names for him to be lying. Everything he said, I was like, my God, this guy is telling the truth because he just knows too much.
Yeah, he was very detailed in his recall.
Exactly.
He had specifics. He brought the receipts, and so he's a pretty persuasive witness, except for if you're only looking at it through partisan lenses.
And the hearing was about Biden, and every Democrat made it about Trump. They can't.
Of course they did.
They can't get over it. They can't get over it.
Well, that's also a strategy. Deflect.
Yeah.
You know? Point everything back to the bad orange man and get your weasel way out of things.
It's a deceitful strategy, but it's a strategy, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. And did you see, I don't want to steal your thunder, but did you see that President Biden himself has now been invited to come have a sit down with the committee?
I did see that. Comer, you did steal my thunder. That's fine.
Susie, Thunder Stealer.
Thunder Stealer. You know what? That was her idea. Thunder Stealer was her idea.
Yeah.
That was her name. Saki Toomey was her idea.
Yeah.
So James Comer officially invites Joe Biden. Explain the difference between being invited and being subpoenaed.
Well, one has theoretical legal bite to it, and subpoenas do, but you can't. I don't think you can subpoena a sitting president anyway.
Yeah.
So they can't force him to come. So really, their only option is to invite him, and then when he declines, to make hay out of that.
Yeah, and I think that the hay needs to be really accentuated by it's not okay for them to skip these things and get away with it because Peter Navarro's sitting in a jail cell right now.
Well, that's true when you're talking about somebody who's under subpoena. And again, with Joe Biden, they will not be able to say that. But with somebody else like Hunter Biden, somebody who's not a sitting president, they could say that.
Yep, they better say that. Okay, we've talked about this all morning. Yesterday was a contrast of character between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden celebrated himself because that's what he does. And by the way, before we get into that, how about Joe's comments on the Key Bridge collapse, right? I remember going over that bridge on the train that has no train tracks on it. I mean, I thought he was going to go as far as say, I built that bridge. I was sitting in the boat with Francis Scott Key when he wrote the Star Spangled Banner. I mean,
that would be believable,
right? But he's got to
always
always
be the one time he told the truth.
Yeah. But he always has to make himself part of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, he is like the Forrest Gump of U.S. politics.
Except Forrest Gump actually did that stuff. That's the weirdest thing.
Well, he did, and he was actually, yeah.
All right, so back to
he was a more sympathetic character.
Yeah, back to the contrast of character. Joe Biden celebrates himself, and Donald Trump celebrates the life of a New York City police officer who was gunned down by a guy who had 9 felonies and how many countless charges against him. I really think that was a good day for Trump because he was somber. He wasn't brash and all these things that people say about him. I think he did the right thing yesterday.
I do too. obviously the Biden fantastical fanfare thing was probably in planning stages for a long time, and they couldn't necessarily, control for when that was going to sit opposite the wake, but the optics were really bad. And Joe Biden wasn't celebrating himself. He was celebrating his predecessors who looked way more healthy and way more alive standing next to him. So he didn't do himself any favors with that. The only favors he did himself was raising more money. And whether or not that can offset all of the, the bad approval and the horrific tenure that he's had that remains to be seen. I thought Donald Trump did a very nice job yesterday of speaking very briefly, very soberly about the issue at hand, not about himself. I saw someone going off on Twitter about him campaigning on someone's wake, and I said, they didn't watch it because he didn't campaign. I mean, you can say that anything you do as a candidate is a form of campaigning, but he was not campaigning with that speech. He was paying tribute to Officer Diller and his family, and he was paying tribute to law enforcement and saying, we can't do this. We can't keep doing this. It has to stop.
And not only that, Susie, but he was invited there. Trump was invited. Trump didn't say, "Hey, can I get in there?"
That's a great point.
Right. He didn't elbow his way into it to make it all about him. So I thought he did a very nice job. And when I wrote it up, that's what I said at the end of my pieces. This was a side of Donald Trump that he would do well to continue showing to the American public, and it's a side that the American public would do well to see. Because not everything is brash, elbow-throwing Donald Trump. Not everything is bombast. There is some substance there, and people need to recognize it.
On morning television, Susie, they were talking about the glitz and glamour of Joe Biden's event, at Radio City Music Hall. It was amazing. They raised unprecedented numbers of money, millions and millions of dollars, Susie.
Stop. I know exactly where he's going. Go.
And I don't think it was a great look. I honestly think 20 years ago, sure, during Clinton, even during Obama in the early stages, I think it would have been a good look. But I don't think it's a good look today with the way things are.
I don't think it is either. I think it emphasizes the contrast and the fact that so many Americans are hurting economically and not able to throw down $100,000 a plate. I mean, who was that really for?
Yeah.
You had mega donors attending, and I'm sure it was a fun evening for them to get to, rub elbows with the current and former presidents and who they idolize. But, Joe average Democrat, was never going to go to that event, is only going to see clips of it, and that's going to make them excited to vote for Joe Biden?
Yeah.
You're right. And, they get to rub elbows, and with Bill Clinton, you get to rub something else. Okay, so I want to get back to Donald Trump at the wake. My wife and I watched it live as it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife, when she sees certain people on TV, certain Democrats, certain liberals, her face looks like she just drank some sour milk. She just detests these people. And so Donald Trump spoke. By the way, he walked into the place without an umbrella, which I don't know why that's so significant to me. He did have an umbrella on the way out, but he held it himself, and then he did his thing, and then he walked away. As soon as he walked away, the Tunnel to Towers people were setting up their tents, and I said to Jess, Tunnel to Towers is going to step in, and sure enough, they did with the money from Donald Trump. He paid for their mortgage. Huh.
Yep. Yeah, and he's done things like that. That's the thing. I mean, people who are so riddled with TDS that they can't see past it, don't recognize. You can criticize some things that he's said and done. You can, absolutely. He's not a saint. He's not perfect. But he's done some good things, too, and he doesn't get enough credit for that in the mainstream press at all. The mainstream press that used to love him and think he was great. I mean, that was an honorable thing. That was a kind thing to do. That was a compassionate thing to do. And people should know about that.
Yep, I completely agree. And I'm waiting for the commercial on television that says, if you have moderate to severe Trump derangement syndrome, ask your doctor if Trumpanol is good for you.
I don't know why Big Pharma hasn't gotten all over that.
I know.
They'd make money. They'd make a lot of money on it.
It would.
So stupid. It's so stupid. Okay. I guess that's all in the current stories I want to talk about. What else is on your mind? Anything I'm missing here that you want to talk about?
The border.
The border? Jim, look at me and say, border, fatty.
No, the reason why the reason why I wanted to bring up the border is because this thing is really getting out of hand. And not only that, they're saying now, the media just reported that, people crossing the border illegally is down this week. It's not down, Susie. What's ending up to happen here is that apparently Biden is flying people over the border into the United States to make it look like it's not so bad at the border.
Nothing deceitful there, Susie.
Yeah, the president of the Border Patrol Union kind of talked about that, I think, yesterday, about the fact that they're kind of fudging the numbers by these direct flights that basically skip right past the border itself and just fly people into the country. I mean, you're still talking about, compared to the number of people that have actually crossed the border, you're still talking about a relatively small fraction. But even so, why are we importing people into the country? There's no logic to the way this administration has handled the border unless they either A, think they're importing votes, B, think they're importing bodies that will lead to more representation in Congress, or C, just want to screw everything up and let it burn.
Yeah, well, I think all three.
So,
I was going to say, they aren't mutually exclusive, are they?
The world is catching up to Ken Williams, okay? Headline this morning, new estimate says U.S. now has 13.7 million illegal immigrants, and Ken has said that it's 20, and they're catching up, Ken.
Yeah, they're getting closer.
They're catching up to you. What do you think, Susie?
Yeah. No, and I mean, that number, I think, includes people that were already here pre-Biden, but there's certainly been a humongous exponential uptick under his administration. You just can't ignore that. You can't work your way around that. So if you think that's a good thing, I guess bully for you, but I don't think most people do think that's a good thing, and it's not sustainable.
Well, I guess my argument is, Susie, is that, the same argument actually Tucker Carlson has. Tucker Carlson thinks there's 22 million plus in here in the United States illegally. I just don't think that they can get a grasp on the true number of people coming into this country, and they're way underestimating it if history has anything to say about it.
One day
and you're probably right about that. I don't know how you would keep track at this rate of how many people are coming across, because there are so many. There's no way to adequately count.
One day you're going to ask Alexa, what's the population of the United States? And she's going to go, damned if I know.
Or she'll say, there's a running number going on.
Right. It's going up every day. All right, in 30 seconds.
Not quite keeping up with the debt, but.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So final thing, very, very quickly, big move and a big ruling in Pennsylvania to outlaw what they did in 2020, not dating and signing ballots, and those ballots still counting, right?
Right, yes. Yeah, this is good for election integrity. I think it was the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that basically upheld the provision that said you have to check signatures, you have to verify the mail-in ballots. You can't just have them flying in willy-nilly. So hopefully that will help counter efforts to be shady with the voting.
Yeah. Do you know willy-nilly is indeed in the dictionary?
I knew he was going to say something about it.
How did you know?
Because I could just tell. I could see the look on your face. When she said willy-nilly, you just went, oh, here we go.
It's in the dictionary. And you know what? I don't think anyone should ever dilly-dally willy-nilly, right?
No, absolutely not.
I wonder if dilly-dally... My grandma, don't dilly-dally. I thought it meant something dirty. I didn't.
And with nothing willy-nilly.
Don't touch your dilly-dally. All right, Susie Moore.
Or willy-nilly.
Definitely don't dilly-dally willy-nilly. Smoozy Q, Deputy Managing Editor at redstate.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great Easter weekend.
Happy Easter,
yes,
Susie.
Ken, don't dilly-dally willy-nilly.
So I like, don't dilly-dally with your willy-nilly.
Right? If you're going to dilly-dally, have a purpose, right? Have a plan. Right. Have a calendar. Have a schedule. And if you're going to dilly-dally, don't do it willy-nilly. Look it up. Willy-nilly is in the dictionary.
Yep.
I've done it. That's how crazy I am. Wheel of Audio clips coming up at 10:41 today. And when we get back, I want to play some stuff from MSNBC, some stuff from CNBC. They are just losing their minds.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know they're losing their grip. And that's a good thing. And that's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
We demand a lower work week, 32-hour work week.
Very well, we'll give them shorter hours. We'll start by cutting their lunch hour to 20 minutes.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
My friend, death is certain. Are you prepared? Larry Connors here. I don't want to scare you, but your funeral plans are an important conversation you need to have with your spouse, family, other loved ones. My friend Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial can help find you an affordable, final expense life insurance policy, regardless of your health condition. You could qualify up to $30,000 of lifetime coverage. Life insurance plans with Senior Memorial also offer living benefits towards hearing and diabetic supplies, access to a 24-hour teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones. Call my friend Benjamin at Senior Memorial and discover your legacy at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Talk radio made in St. Louis for St. Louis. This is News Talk STL.
Our responsibility.
News, analysis, and opinion.
To provide updated guidance.
At 1019, 94.1, and NewstalkSTL.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Vic. Yo, Vic.
On News Talk STL.
Hey, this is for my wife, right?
Yeah.
Jessica by the Allman Brothers Band. It's so funny. When I worked at WDHA in New Jersey, when I played this song, everybody knew I was saying hi to my wife.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, listen, Ken, this is a fascinating statistic I'd like to give you here.
Yeah.
99% of new vehicles are equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. That means it's now easier than ever to listen to News Talk STL on the app.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I listen to the radio. I listen to terrestrial radio, 101.9, 94.1. But my wife and my daughters, they have the screens. I have an old truck, but they have those screens now. When they get in their car, when my wife gets in the car, the light comes on and says, your phone's ready to be, attached or whatever. And she listens by her phone now.
Mm-hmm.
And she listens to News Talk STL by her phone.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. And I as soon as I realized how great it is, I that's the only way I listen to the station. So 99%. So if you have a new car, I'm sorry. If you have a new car, we're right there on the app, already equipped in your car. And I think this is much bigger than HD radio was. Remember HD radio?
And they still have that too.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I love HD radio, but HD radio didn't catch on like radio hoped it would, I guess.
Well, it's not as accessible.
And it's still a you can't drive out of range and still get it on HD. With the app, you can drive wherever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And you'll always get the station crystal clear. So do that with the car phone app for News Talk STL. All right, let's talk about some polls here, shall we? We haven't talked about
Let's do that.
Presidential polls for a while. Number 4, Ken, Fox News poll talking about Bidenomics.
A new round of Fox News polling shows former President Trump widening his lead over President Biden. One big reason? The economy. 52% of voters say they're worse off financially today than they were in 2020, just before Biden took office. So, Ken, I ask this question all the time, and nobody
has given me an answer to this. Every poll you see, let's say Rasmussen,
Quinnipiac,
thanks. It's the same group of people that they polled, right? Because it's the story is always about, here's this polling project by one of these big polling places, and they say that 37% of them approve, or less sometimes, of Biden's job in office.
Right.
And then they'll play the head-to-head, and some Biden's only down by like 2 or 3 points. I'm no mathematician, I get it. How does that work mathematically?
I think they might disapprove of his certain things in his policy, but then they say, well, but I hate Trump, so I'm going to vote for Biden anyway.
So I'm gonna put my family under just because I hate Trump.
There are people out there like that, Vic. We know this because there are companies out there like that. Look at Disney. They're willing to lose billions of dollars in order to keep up with the woke DEI crowd.
Yep. And they've answered my question. What's more important to you, diversity or success?
Yeah.
And 'cause I was shocked when I put that up on like Twitter or something, and somebody voted for diversity over success.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to be nuts. Nobody is going to go for that. Sure enough, Disney as a whole company went for that.
Right.
Okay, let's go on to number 13. Can we do number 13? Because that what we just played there was a Fox News poll. And I'm sure, the libs are saying, oh, well, that's Fox News poll. Of course they're going to say that. So I wonder what CNN says.
I think voters have decided the cure for inflation is not Biden.
Yeah.
I think that's one part of it. And then maybe there's a sense that Trump might spend less. He's seen also in other data we have better on the federal deficit, better on taxes. So that might also be seen as the reason why Trump is seen as better. I think Biden erred terribly with this Inflation Reduction Act, we're calling it, which was really a spending act.
And inflation, what's the opposite of reduction?
Increase?
Inflation acts.
Yeah. I mean, everything that it says is exactly wrong.
And that's what they do. Don't say gay. They right. You know what I mean? They take a bill and they name it something that it's not. And especially when it wasn't even their bill, they hijacked they call it the Don't Say Gay bill. It doesn't say Don't Say Gay anywhere in the bill.
If you're a Democrat or someone on the left that doesn't really affiliate with a certain party, and you hear a headline, you hear that they've named something like the Don't Say Gay bill, and you believe in your heart of hearts that that's the truth, then you're playing a fool's game. Yep. You are not being truthful, intellectually honest about what's going on in this country. Because every single thing every bill that they try to pass, the name of it is exact opposite of what they're actually intending.
It's almost like Ed's Toy or something.
It's kind of like a thing called, I don't know, Ed's Toy.
Anything they say, I know, is complete opposite.
All right, so Fox, libs are going to say, oh, well, that's Fox. That's biased. That's good. So CNBC, they said the same thing. Oh, but they're not really, So MSNBC, 14, they have to be saying that Biden's polling better than Trump, right?
Right.
Let's hear.
Small donors, and these are people who give $200 or less. The Biden campaign is significantly lagging the Trump campaign in this one category.
That's wild.
And that is very different than what happened in 2020 in the cycle, and this is the full cycle for 2020, where the Biden campaign substantially outraised Trump among small donors. So there is a shift here, and it may reflect the enormous passion of Trump's base and some of the issues Biden may be having with his small donors.
That was MSNBC, okay? So that wasn't any biased Fox News, crazy right-wing extremist media company.
At some point, it gets so bad that they absolutely, positively have to actually promote the truth.
Yep. Huh. Wow.
That's weird.
So everybody has their issues, right? Everybody has their issues that they vote on. I think a normal American, one of those issues would be, can I afford food to feed my family? Can I afford medicine for my family? Can I afford the transportation to get back and forth to work, to make money, to get food on the table for my family? Those are some issues, right?
And housing.
And housing.
A place to live.
A place to live, a roof over your head. So 15, Ken, voters saying the President Trump actually has better policies for 7 of their top 10 most important voting issues.
Now let's look at who voters think have the best policies on these issues. Let's go. Overall economy, the 4th most important issue. Donald Trump has a 30-point lead on that. Crime tied for 4th, 28-point lead for Trump. Inflation, the most important issue. 27-point for Donald Trump. Healthcare, Biden has a 19-point advantage on that. And the middle class, that's a place, as Wolf was talking about, where there is some battle right there. Who has the best policies for the middle class? Let's go to the second tier of issues, which aren't all that far down, but they're not in the top 5. Immigration, 48-point lead for Donald Trump. Taxes, 32 for Trump. China, 28 for Trump. Come to abortion, a 25-point lead for President Biden. And Social Security, another potential battleground area.
So there you go. We believe that was on CNBC and
I think so. Yeah.
So there you go. And I want to say it again. I don't get the math when you see these polls that Trump's only up by a couple of points or 3 points or 4 points. This should be a Ronald Reagan 49-state landslide in November.
Well, just like we've said in the past, and I have, and I know you have on radio in the past, like around 2016, don't listen to the polls, because what's happening here, everyday Americans, the mass of people who are going to be voting, they're experiencing rough times. I know this because I am.
Yes.
And you are. Yes. And most people are. So, yeah, let's let this thing go, because I'll tell you what, gas is going up again. It keeps going up. And we're back in a situation where they're blaming, right now, I heard it last night on television, the Biden administration is blaming Ukraine again for the gas prices going up again.
Yeah, not closing the pipeline.
No. Not
stopping the drilling in Anwar.
Stop saying that. Stop saying that. It's Ukraine, Vic. It's all Ukraine. Ukraine did it. And then Trump did it because, whatever.
Once again, if you're suffering from moderate to severe Trump derangement syndrome, ask your doctor if Trumpanol is good for you. All right, can we check the chat box here real quick, Ken? Because it's on fire. We start with Ed Stoit. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No fair election.
No peace.
No fair election.
No peace.
Good Friday because Sunday's coming. I get it. Okay, I got it. Leave me alone now. That's not that I didn't get it. I'm just trying to say that, I don't know.
Well, we're just trying to help.
I don't know what's my problem, Ken, really. I don't know what my problem is. I understand why we call it Good Friday. I get it, okay?
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Chris says, good morning, gents. Good Friday. Remember why and celebrate today and Easter. Okay, get off my back. No, I'm just kidding. Ed also says, ready on the right. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I forgot all about that. We'll do another one at the end of this. Lock and load, ready on the right, says Ed. Good morning. That guy on TikTok with the squatters video is wanted by ICE. How about that?
Yeah.
I did not explain myself well when Larry was in here. There is a guy who is anti-squatter and actually does things about it, gets squatters out of people's houses. That's the guy I was talking about. And I didn't even know about this other guy who teaches people how to be a squatter.
Yeah, there's actually a group called the Squat Squad, and they're in L.A., and they've been doing this since 2018, and they're, like, really efficient. They know the law.
So there's somebody on the chat board that's named Eat Veggies. I wonder where he stands.
Eat veggies. Let me think about that for a second. Oh, okay.
Go eat your broccoli. Mexico is an enemy using proxies against us, and they're aiding other countries against us. We need to fight back. Agreed. Bought time, people. Sue them. I don't know what that's about. Fox News mainstream tries to maintain fair and balanced to the point, but the digital is clearly left. I think I kind of agree with that. Vic and Ken, cat fight. LOL. Susie said we missed you. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Forrest Gump actually did those things.
Right.
You can't subpoena a sitting president. Dems, hold my beer.
Oh, yeah.
The event was only about money. And by the way, they raised $25 million. How did Donald Trump do when Truth Social went public? Do you remember, Ken?
Yeah, I think he got 3.4 million or something like that. He's up to 6.7 billion. I'm talking about.
I got some more. I'm sorry. I know you're lowering the music.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Tom says, good Friday morning. Good Friday morning, yo, Vic. That's Rat, my friend Rat.
Yeah,
New Jersey.
okay.
By the way, he's coming to town.
Hey, Rat.
He's coming to town because his son's a great musician and going to be playing in Columbia.
So is he going to come to the studio?
No. I'm going to go out there and meet him, and we're going to have dinner or something out there because his son's playing out there.
He should come in the studio.
I get it. Stop. Don't be bossing my friends around. You boss me around.
Right,
Don't be bossing my friends around. Good Friday. All right, more Holy Friday stuff. Happy Good Friday, ladies and gents. Dwayne, can we find out about Prop P we voted in a few years ago for the police? Where did that money go?
Yeah, exactly right. Where did that money go?
Great point, Dwayne. We're going to try to...
Yeah, we'll check it out.
And Barry Big says, okay, Vic, I apologize for insinuating that you're not an adult. I mean, it may be true, Barry, but you don't have to tell everybody.
It was great.
And Amy
It's
says...
Friday!
Yeah, baby! All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. And the Wheel of Audio is next. This is Jessica by the Allman Brothers Band from my wife, who's on the mend. Jessica, I love you more than anything, baby. On 101.9 and 94.1, News Talk STL. It's crazy. This is just an instrumental song, but I hear my wife.
It has words in your mind.
Exactly, Ken. Yeah. Exactly right. Only a cat would be able to come up with that. Wheel of Audio Clips is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
Now, even as we evolve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships, let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Made in St. Louis, for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
I noticed the bandit doesn't tell Samuel L. Jackson not to cuss on this here radio. He's afraid of Samuel L. Jackson. All right, listen, there's something very important that sounds very funny. I know, I get it. We try to make it fun and funny, but it's the truth. Goober is out there, okay? And if there's a storm on a Thursday or Friday, it doesn't really matter what day of the week. If there's a storm, Saturday, Goober will knock on your door and tell you you need a new roof, okay? Ken got a call that, okay, the funny one is when they called, Ken goes, "You goober, you're a goober." That's the funny one. But the real one that's scary is when he called and you said, "Oh, yeah, what's my address?" That was brilliant on your part. "Oh, yeah, what's my address?" What do you do?
And he said, well, he hung up. Yeah, right. He had no idea.
Right. So they're just scammers, okay? When you have when you have a company like Connor Roofing, who has your back always, go with Connor Roofing. They've been doing it for 30 years. They're locally owned and operated, and they specialize in residential roofing and repair. So now we're talking about apples and oranges here. Goober just wants to take your money and run. Some companies will start your thing and then say, "Oh, you know what? We got a commercial job we have to do, so we'll be back in a couple of months." No, not on Connor. Honest estimate. Quality work. Great customer service. Great people. Connor Roofing. CONNER roofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
Hey, St. Louis, my name is Rob Carter. If you are sick and tired of the corporate news bubble, if you like unedited information free from corporate money, if you want straight talk with no script, join me weeknights from 8 to 10 p.m. on The Rob Carter Show.
Live and local, weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
It's a new year, so come check out the great financing offers going on now at Seavers JCB. Rates as low as 0.99% on nearly all JCB compact construction equipment, including the industry-leading JCB Teleskid. For details, go to SeaversJCB.com. Mini excavators, track loaders, small wheel loaders, and even the industry-leading JCB compact load all range. Seavers JCB has them all. Visit SeaversJCB.com for more information.
Fox News commentary.
New York City Council is pleading with the state's highest court to allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. Just in case you were wondering why Democrats want open borders, here you go. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Success. It's discipline, it's teamwork,
It's the drive and confidence and passion inside of us that comes before all recognition. It's the best of each of us made better by the best in all of us. It's what Stifel has been doing for over 130 years. And it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management and investment banking firms in the industry. Stifel, where success meets success. Find a financial advisor at stifel.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
New York City Council is begging the state's highest court to overturn 2 rulings standing in the way of their master plan to give voting rights to non-citizens with green cards. Back in late 2021, then Mayor de Blasio signed a bill into law giving some 800,000 non-citizens the right to vote in local elections. That move was struck down by an appellate court and ruled unconstitutional, but nevertheless, the New York City Council is pushing the court to strike down those 2 rulings standing in the way. The City Council touts this plan as a way to increase civic involvement, but we know dang good and well what this is about. It's no secret Democrats want to give non-citizens the right to vote. They aren't even trying to mask it anymore. Why do you think they're keeping our borders wide open? They want the padded congressional districts and they want the future voters. And if they are successful, they will get millions. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show Tommy Lahren is Fearless at Outkick.com.
The Wheel of Audio Clips, brought to you by Senior Memorial. Give Benjamin Schaefer a call at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Whoosh.
It's Friday!
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
You've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Correct! Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Hi, Brad. I can't.
Somehow you just...
How can you not?
I get it, but you just don't sound quite like her. You just don't intrigue quite like she did.
You don't want me to undo my top?
No. Too much visual there.
I am offended. All right, I'm sorry. I have to, just a couple of more chat box things. I'm sorry.
Okay,
You don't even have to do the music.
No, go ahead.
But, so somebody named Lunettes said, I love your wife's song. Always lifts my spirits.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then Ed, I hate to correct you, sir, but don't you cuss on this here radio was not Smokey telling the bandit not to cuss on this here radio. It was the bandit telling Smokey not to cuss on this here radio when Smokey said, where are you, you son of a bitch? Right?
Don't cuss on this radio.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Well then. Anyway,
everybody.
That's definitely Burt Reynolds' voice who was the bandit in the movie. Get your act together, Ed, okay?
Wheel of Audio Clips!
It's America's favorite game show, The Wheel of Audio Clips. Here's the host of Wheel of Audio Clips, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Mondra, very much. Thank you, studio audience. Thanks for coming. Oh, thank you, ladies. Stop it. All right, it's the Wheel of Audio Clips. You know, some people might call this feature, if they were doing it on a boring radio show, the Week in Review.
So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to do for you the Weekend Review.
Here's the Week in Review in audio.
Are you ready?
Here we
Can
go.
you handle it?
Here on NPR. I'm David Remnick, and this is the New Yorker Radio Hour.
Yes.
So what we do is is that your vocal fry?
Yes, it was.
Okay. What we do is we take all the audio clips that we play you all week long. When I say we, I mean Ken, by the way.
No, we do.
No, you do. We take all the audio clips that we play all week, and then Ken puts them up on this big wheel, and then we spin the wheel, and then wherever the wheel stops, that's what we play for, a couple of minutes, for 4 or 5 minutes, and we have some fun with some of the audio that we heard all week.
And just so you know, last Friday, Tony had a great time spinning that wheel.
Did he?
He loved it, yeah.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Keep him away from my wheel. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Spin the wheel. There we go.
He had to jump up a little higher than you did.
What is that supposed to mean?
Because you're taller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a short one, that Tony. All right. Where's it going to land?
What do you mean by that?
Hey, I don't know. Oh, my God. How could it ever? This never happens. Joe Biden. It lands on Joe Biden every week, all the time, talking about the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Listen closely, ladies and gentlemen.
At about 1:30, container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware in our train or by car. Been in Baltimore Harbor many times. In our train or by car.
Can you remind me?
In our train or by car.
How many trains go over the Francis Scott Key Bridge?
I think none.
Why?
Well, because there's no track.
Got it. He can't just say,
Been in Baltimore.
He can't just say, a container boat, whatever it's called, ship, hit the bridge and the bridge fell and stop. He's got to say, which I have been on many times by train.
With the clown train, it has wheels instead of a track.
He is obsessed with trains, by the way. You know?
He is.
I imagine the White House, somewhere in the White House, there's like one of those Lionel train sets. And ding, ding, and then, okay, everybody on board, coming into the station. I was waiting for him to say, I built that bridge. I was on a ladder, and I put that bridge together, and that's who did. Oh, and by the way, Francis Scott Key, yeah, I actually was on the boat with Francis Scott Key in the harbor watching Fort McHenry burn when Francis Scott Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner. I helped him with those lyrics. That was me.
Wow.
Yeah. And the numbers work out as far as age goes.
Yeah.
That was only 200 years ago.
Right.
All right. Spin the wheel. I missed this last week, I got to tell you.
Yeah, well, we missed you.
I was a little jealous. That the adults were in the room. Hi, Brad. Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah. So if this guy you're going to hear, if he were at the unemployment office looking for work,
yeah,
right? The guy that worked at the employment office, you know how they call you? If it was you, it'd be, is there a Williams Ken here? Right? They always do your last name first.
Right.
So the guy would say, is there a bag, douche here? Tell me this guy's name and voice doesn't say douchebag all over it. He's MSNBC guest Tristan Snell.
And honestly, this is so infuriating, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know if I care what the process is.
Stop.
That these.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care what the process. Why do we have processes if he doesn't care what the process is?
Well, because the ends justify the means.
Oh, Saul Alinsky said that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, go ahead.
Judges are arriving at whatever it is, it's flawed. I can tell you that much. I mean, David put it well. This is a different process for this person. We have decided that he gets his own private court of justice. He has a private plane. He has private clubs that he lives in. Apparently, he basically fashioned himself his own private militia to try to take over the Capitol. Now he's getting his own private system of justice.
Okay.
This is an absolute travesty. Oh, sure. It would not happen for anybody else. Anybody else, it would be like, sorry, buddy, you lost, pay up. For him, he gets his own set of rules.
Notice how he cannot say his name. I wonder if he starts shaking if he says his name.
If he says his name, then he morphs into his humanoid form. But so he mentioned in that clip that Donald Trump has his own militia, right?
Yeah. Are you a part of that?
Yeah. Donald Trump has his own militia, which is A, unarmed, B, peaceful, C, patriotic.
Right.
Worst militia ever.
Worst militia you could even think of.
If you want a militia, don't call Trump's militia because they don't even have any guns.
Right.
And they're peaceful, and they speak their voice patriotically and peacefully.
Oh, you want a militia to take over things?
Yeah,
well,
no.
don't call Trump.
Don't call Trump. That guy, I swear to God. What else? There was something else in there he said about the militia. He's got a private company. He's got a private jet. Got a private golf course.
Jealous much?
Yeah, right, Ken, exactly. You want your own little private thing? If you had the money, you wouldn't have your own private plane.
Yeah.
And by the way, bitch to us about all the carbon we're using, just living, but all the carbon that you use on your private jet's okay?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay. I'm done.
No, you're not.
I can't do anymore.
No, we do.
Okay, how about spin it? All right. I do see Trump on the wheel. Matter of fact, here he comes.
No,
Come on, cut.
Yeah.
So close.
Does she sound like She's talking with her dentures are falling out every time.
Okay, Ken's talking about former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Let's listen for the denture movement.
Well, I think that it's very clear that Trump is a grifter. That's just
Right
the
there.
way it is. And integrity, which is something that we all want to always deepen in politics and in government, has just flown the coop with him.
The clicking.
Why does she say coop? So weird. I'm ashamed of you, actually.
Why? I'm sorry.
Because her I don't know if it's her dentures or she may be drunk.
She could be drunk.
He's a grifter. He's a grifter.
Well, I think that
Go ahead.
it's very clear,
Clear.
that Trump is a grifter.
Grifter.
That word, that's the one I think that got me.
Grifter.
Grifter.
He's a
Grifter.
grifter.
Because I thought her dentures were popping out.
Could be. So just so you know, a little inside baseball. Pull the curtain back a little bit so you can see what goes on behind the scenes that you don't always see and hear. Ken gives me every day a list of audio clips, great list of audio clips. And in this one, he writes verbatim, crooked Nancy Pelosi unironically calls President Trump a grifter. Pot, meet, kettle.
Right.
In all caps.
Exactly.
Pot meets kettle is all in
Exactly
caps.
right.
Love it. All right, spin the wheel. Before we run out of time here. All right, Ken. Wait, here comes Trump. No, that went by. That'll never make it around. Will this one make it around? No.
Oh, wow.
All right,
okay.
now we got double problems.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
We got somebody I don't want to hear, and have you warmed up the Wayback Machine?
hot and ready to
It's
go.
Ready to go. Okay. All right, here we go. Back to 2021.
I'm dizzy. Yeah, that's even going back just that short amount of time.
Even a short amount of time, we got to get in the Wayback Machine. And Kamala Harris wants you to know that she is a maps expert.
If you're watching any level of news, even social media, you're seeing everything that's going on right now in the Ukraine. Break it down in layman's terms for people who don't understand what's going on and how can this directly affect the people of the United States.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe.
Got it.
It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
All right, Back to the Future. Kamala Harris has studied the maps, and she probably still couldn't find Israel on a map if it says Israel right on it.
Exactly right.
And that's all the time we have for the Wheel of Audio Clips. I'm Vic Porcelli saying, please help control the liberal population. Have your liberal spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great Easter. In all seriousness, enjoy Good Friday and Easter, and you too, Kenny, okay?
Oh, you too, Vic.
All right. And thank you so much for having the record player on at night.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
And we'll see you Monday, 9 o'clock on 101.9 and 94.1. News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Whoosh.
Happy Easter. Happy whoosh.
Again. Someday I'll be able to forget my working days. Life will be grim because my ship is coming in. Everything will go my way and I won't have to say, here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. My working week's so tough, I think I've had enough until the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
You want to give someone something which they will really enjoy? Give them a Cafe Napoli gift card. You pick the amount, and they pick which of the Cafe Napolis they want to visit. Cafe Napoli in Clayton, Cafe Napoli in Town and Country, Napoli 3 on the streets of St. Charles, or right next door, Napoli C. The Napoli gift card. It's the perfect gift for anyone or your entire office. Cafe Napoli. Cafe Napoli.
Kickstart your spring with Spring into Green savings on a John Deere compact tractor at Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. For a limited time, we have 0% financing for 84 months with 0 down on select models. Plus, when you purchase an in-stock model year 23 compact tractor, you'll save up to an additional $2,500. Take home the tractor of your dreams today. Visit snpartners.com for more information.
Offer valid through 4/26/2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
I got an email which brought a smile. A woman named Mary wrote me, "We are purchasing a new roof from John Beal based on your recommendation." I thanked her then. I do it again now. Mary, I only endorse clients I believe in, and I've been a spokesman for John Beal for 10 years. It's all about trust. So if, like Mary, you need John Beal, trust me. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF. 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Political dignitaries, friends, and family have gathered to honor the late former U.S. Senator Joe Lieberman of Connecticut. A funeral service today in Stamford, the hometown of the four-term senator. Lieberman died Wednesday in New York City from complications from a fall. He was 82. Correspondent Norman Hall gives us the latest developments on the Maryland Bridge collapse.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will use the largest crane on the eastern seaboard to help remove the wreckage of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge brought down by a cargo vessel. The machine can lift up to 1,000 tons. Governor Wes Moore says Maryland deeply appreciates support and the $60 million the federal government has provided so far. Moore says removing the wreckage and replacing the bridge will be extremely difficult.
We have a very long road ahead of us. We understand that, and we're prepared.
The port's closure has ships waiting offshore, drying up work for dock workers, and crippling regional shipping. I'm Norman Hall.
Also at townhall.com, correspondent Donna Warder reports on immigration legislation in Georgia.
Georgia's legislature passed a bill Thursday that would require authorities to check the immigration status of people sent to jail. If law enforcement agencies refuse to do so, they'd risk losing state funding for failing to work with immigration officials. Local officials could also face misdemeanor charges. The bill gained traction after a Venezuelan man immigration officials say entered the U.S. illegally allegedly beat to death a nursing student on the University of Georgia campus. Democrats have raised concerns that such an immigration law would turn local law enforcement into immigration police. I'm Donna Warder.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Biden has started tracking Christians like cattle. Yes, you heard it right. He pressured banks to tag transactions for certain keywords. One of them is Holy Bible. That's a horrifying and creepy attack on our religious freedoms. It's made possible by a digital financial system that makes you a sitting duck. But you do have other options. I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst, a best-selling author, and evangelical leader to people who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Biden's anti-Christian bureaucracy while also preserving your retirement savings. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text faith to 989898. There are no strings attached. So text faith to the number 989898 right now and take action to protect your own prosperity.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Nice warm day on tap. Dry roads this morning. Temperatures in the upper 40s by this afternoon. We're partly cloudy and breezy, but a high in the mid-70s today and again tomorrow. We'll probably see a few showers, maybe even a thunderstorm overnight tonight into early tomorrow. But again, mid-70s on Saturday and in and out of the clouds a little bit. Little higher rain chance on Easter Sunday, especially from St. Louis northward, and we could see some stronger storms on Sunday evening, so stay tuned for any kind of severe threat that may occur on Sunday, Easter Sunday, the high near 80. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Earhart.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. Give Benjamin Schaefer a call at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
My name is Todd Showalter, and I'm announcing the Right Mind Show is officially running Saturday nights at 5. I'll now open the floor for questions.
Is the Right Mind Show funny at all?
No comment. Next question. Yeah, you, different reporter with the same voice.
Your co-host is very cute.
Not a question. I've got time for one more.
Do you do any impressions on the Right Mind Show?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Joe Biden getting out of bed.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. Saturday afternoons at 5 on News Talk STL.
Southern Armory, your hometown gun store. Come and be more than just a customer. Southern Armory, we carry the best guns, holsters, knives, magazines, ammunition, and even food storage. Special orders are welcome. Southern Armory, 1 mile east of 270 and 44, 9901 Watson Road, and SouthernArmory.com. That's SouthernArmory.com.
Whether you're purchasing your first firearm or adding to your collection at Southern Armory, you're more than a customer, you're part of the family. Follow Southern Armory on Facebook or at SouthernArmory.com.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
Hey, it's Katie, reminding you to subscribe to our show podcast so you never miss anything that happens here at News Talk STL. Get our podcasts every day on the show pages at newstalkstl.com, or just subscribe to your favorite shows on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, or anywhere else you get your podcasts.
News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Filling in for Dan, here's Jim Birdie.
Good afternoon. It is producer Jim in for Dan today. The deep state is real, folks. It's real. What? We're going to do just another conservative show on the deep state? And no. This is the New York Times admitting the deep state is real. After the left constantly told us for years, no, it's not a real thing. Ignore that. They're making that up. It's a conspiracy theory. It's real. We're going to be getting into that. I got a big show today. Now, one of the things that I like to do when I'm filling in for Dan, give you a little background. Dan puts the show together every day. He'll send us a lot of the elements for the show. We'll plug them in, put them on a piece of paper. Then Dan will call and he will do a rundown of the show and get to the order. You may know that he never always gets through the entire show. So what I'm going to do partially today is I'm going to get to some of the stuff that he didn't get to. And one of